maybe the best one ever. So this machine is simply on another level. I'm going to show you today my modified Strive/Prime plate-loaded seated row machine. Now, those of you guys that have followed me for a while know I've got a couple videos before of modifying this. This is like the third or fourth time I've actually played with it and modified it, and I think it's now perfect. But you can click the link above, see some of my previous reviews. If you want to get the full picture, watch those before you watch the rest of this video. All right, so Prime obviously took over Strive. I think in the market, they're probably top 2 or 3 manufacturer right now. They're very innovative, but I'm going to show you how to take their innovation to the next step, honestly. So similar to what I told you recently about my modified Strive/Prime plate-loaded incline and flat chest press, I guarantee if you guys had a chance to use this, you would not be able to go without this in your gym. So that being said, it's in its original state, it's not perfect. And I'm going to show you why. So the main drawbacks of the machine as is, I think the handle options are lacking. Of course, the new one, it only has one handle option. It's a great machine. I've used it many times, but it's a one-trick pony. That's the only issue, if you want to call it an issue. Additionally, I think the strength curve could be improved. And the way the linkage is, it can be awkward unless you know how to use it correctly. The smart handles are cool. You're going to see there's not quite enough excursion, in my opinion, of the loading arm in relation to the handles to give you optimal muscle stimulation. Now, similar to what I was talking about recently with the chest press modification, understanding origins and insertions and function really helps you know, first of all, how to use the machine as is, how to use any back machine, in addition to how to make the machine better. Quick anatomy review. The back, there's a ton of back muscles. You can see it's actually a pretty intricate network. What I want to focus on mostly, you can see the rhomboids, the teres major, how big the lats are, is the rotational component of all these muscles, including the lats. Look at how they rotate around in the frontal plane. They wrap around the rib cage. There's absolutely a frontal plane component of you being able to open up your torso and close your torso, of you being able to roll your shoulder blades forward and roll your shoulder blades back. If you're just straight horizontal rowing, first of all, you're not going to develop your back. Second of all, you're going to develop shoulder pain and imbalance. I've seen way too many rotator cuff, shoulder, long-term issues because of the inability to move and manipulate the shoulder blades, the scapula. So there's lots of things you can do to improve that. But what you can first start with, if you have shoulder pain, if your back's not the greatest development, is lighten the weight and really focus on, and I'll show you, leaning into the chest pad here. And then as you contract, shoving your chest as hard as you can into the chest pad. Most gym bros, professional bodybuilders included, have horrible form. You can have horrible form, whatever. I mean, take juice, you get away with a lot of crap. But you see them come off. You're going to see the weight's too heavy and they're going to bring your chest off. Maybe a little too harsh in my judgment. Not everybody, but this right here is all too common a sight in most gyms, where you're lifting your chest off the pad and you're using your lower back mostly and just more momentum. You're not truly isolating the lats or the upper back. Now, that being said, I'm going to show you why I prefer the old handles to the new handles. See, obviously there's bushings. It rotates on bushings here, but it also rotates on bushings here. So watch what happens. So you're going to get the up and down motion. That you can get that with the handle as is, but you cannot get this with the new handle. Notice what's happening. It's rotating in the frontal plane. So what always happens under load with these new handles is you're going to get radial and ulnar deviation. You're going to get rotation of the wrist before you'll get internal and external rotation. So it's literally assisting you in just getting a very gentle rotation inward on the stretch and a very gentle rotation outward on the contraction. So I want you to pay attention to those bearings as I just show you a couple reps of. You actually rotate your hands very slightly in, and as you come out and contract, you rotate your hands slightly out as the chest is against the pad. You see this rotation? It's very subtle. But obviously we're getting freedom of motion there, but we're also getting this frontal plane range of motion. Get that on the new handles, but you have to think about it and force yourself to, whereas these bearings actually almost make you do that if you do the movement right and keep your chest against the pad. All right, I'm going to show you these handles. So the magic of this is honestly the handles. There's actually 9 different grips you can do now. So you can see the prone, overhand prone, and the neutral are what come in the original handle. But I've added a narrow up top prone and a wide up top prone, a semi-supinated, semi-pronated, and a lower semi-supinated or semi-pronated, depending on how you grip it. Now, I want you to notice the difference in angles. These are very specific angles. This wasn't just helter-skelter. This is very thought out and tweaked multiple times. Notice the difference in angle in particular, here to the semi-supinated here to here. They're not the same exact thing. What you'll also notice is there's 4 weight horns. I'm going to show you some videos of people using it and show you why the original, as it is lacking. Notice this dude, he's actually using it how I recommend it with most of the weight in the beginning horn. Notice he's actually got to use a little momentum. Where the loading arm ends at the end of the movement, he's not getting a full contraction. He's got to use momentum to finish where he's the weakest. You can see here as well, she's using the same machine. This is a cool gym, by the way, in the UK. I love this way that she's using it, but you're not getting full benefit of the strength curve. Depending on your arm length, if you have really long arms, the strength curve actually will likely work if you have the chest pad all the way out. If you have short arms and the chest or the chest pad is further in, you absolutely are not going to get optimal stretch or taper. All right, so I'll show you a footage of me using a few of these grips. This is the original overhand prone grip. Great for rhomboids, teres, rear delts, mid traps. You can see, watch while I use this throughout this video, how the weight is loaded and where the loading arm begins and ends. So obviously one of the caveats of this is you can only fit 35s without the weights hitting. You guys know this. That's just the way the movement arm is designed. But I actually put more of the weight that horn I added than the beginning horn that came with the machine, because it gives a much better stretch and a much better taper. And this is the neutral handle here. Notice how it's very subtle, but you can see how I'm kind of opening up at the stretch and I'm wrapping around at the contraction. There's a subtle frontal plane rotation happening against the pad the entire time. It's very subtle. Doing this enough times, I've just it comes natural secondhand. But if you've not approached row machines that way before, I would suggest thinking about frontal plane rotation against the pad when you first do it. This is the neutral handle I'm showing you. Now check out this handle right here. This is a really cool handle. You can grip it real high and narrow. You can grip it wide. This is crazy rear delt stimulation. Now this grip right here is the one probably still my favorite. It's the original semi-supinated I added. It just totally destroys the lats. Now, if you remember the video I showed you, you'll see this handle orientation follows perfectly with the majority of the mid and lower lat fibers. It absolutely follows. So this is crazy lat stimulation. So the semi-pronated, the overhand, the neutral, you're getting a lot of upper back. This really is a lat grip, which is why I love it. And I'll show you the other lower semi-supinated handle in just a second. But look at how I have the weight mostly on that horn I added. It's absolutely freaking phenomenal. And you can see and appreciate a little bit of that frontal plane rotation here. All right, so check out this lower wider. You can see the angle is not the same as my other semi-supinated angle. I made it specifically for rear delt mid trap. This is crazy rear delt stimulation, particularly when I internally rotate my handles. I'll show you in a second. I love this extra handle because and you can see I move the seat up and down. If I move it up, obviously I'm getting more lat where I'm lined up with the lats. If the seat's further down, obviously I'm getting more upper back. Crazy good, this handle right here. Now, my suspicion is 99% of you guys have never actually tried an internally rotated grip on a row machine. Similar to what I showed you on the chest press, internally rotated grip is freaking money. If you wanted to stimulate your rear delts, we can do a separate video showing the fibers of the rear delt. This follows right along the rear delt. Your hands are in the perfect position to stimulate rear delt. It's almost like a 45-degree angle of the arm against the torso. You're not 9 degrees. You're not 180 degrees. You're in the middle. Like this, just look at the motion and the path of that. That's all freaking rear delt. It's crazy rear delt stimulation. All right, the semi-pronated grip is total money on the upper back. So absolutely hits rhomboids, teres, mid traps, a little bit of mid lat as well. It's absolutely phenomenal. So the potential downside of these handles versus the new ones is you don't have the option of doing the internal external rotation. I think the new handles work best one arm at a time, in all honesty. These work best two arm at a time, but as I'll show you, you got the option to add any accessory handle you want and get all that rotational component with the snap rings I've added on this. To be fair, this isn't necessarily my original idea. Several other people have done this, which I think it's a very simple and very genius idea. You just order this extension pad from Prime. This one has 12 different holes versus 8 different holes on the original. And obviously the beauty of this is you can adjust it to different lengths, as I'll show you, different positions in the chest. You know, this is going to allow you to do more of almost an upright row if you want. Traditional row. And then almost if you come all the way down, you grab it a certain way, you can get kind of a high row feel from just a straight horizontal row. So using this new pad, as I'll show you, I love to use it when I do accessory handles because it makes the excursion of the movement arm perfect, because the chest pad comes out further. So these are the raw motive work handles, phenomenal handles. I kind of play around with standing, with sitting, kind of kneeling. But the chest pad is cool because you can also use it on the selectorized version. You can see, you know, if I was going to do one arm at a time or pull arounds, I would use this snap ring and stick an accessory handle on and get the same thing. But you can see this more or less effectively is like the new Prime with the handles. All right, so check this out. I was just going to show you, playing around with it, like the ability to shorten your back muscles completely and get that end contraction is amazing with that top horn. So very versatile. I mean, I could spend my entire back day doing just this machine only, because you can hit upper back, rear delts, traps, lats, everything just in one machine. And obviously you have the benefit of the smart technology, the smarter technology with my extra horn. What I will say is actually having in my head how to make, if I ever can figure out how or find someone to help me, make the ultimate, you know, use similar designs to this, but make it 10 times better, doing several other different things to make it like an ultimate seated chest supported row machine. It would just be absolutely completely lights out. So let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe below. Have an amazing day.